Hey guys, so I'm in a place that's almost too beautiful to speak, and I'm having a hard time starting this video because it seems as if it's a sin to speak here. And yet, that is exactly the feeling that I am trying to work through right now, and that's what this video is about, is working through that feeling. And so two dualities are being merged here, one of connection with nature and technology. And that is the beauty of dualities, and creation is the beauty of dualities itself. So feeling is the way to our true nature, to the eye of the storm, as you will. That I keep I love the idea that you can't find the absolute center of a sphere. Now we know a sphere is completely symmetrical, but the absolute center is an arbitrary point, which every time you draw a new sphere. There's no center. Just like the pupil of your eye is blackness. When you stare into someone's eyes, you're staring into blackness. The camera lens, I'm staring into blackness right now, so you can see this picture. It's almost, vision itself is a duality that's merging. That is creation itself. And that's something I'd never contemplated until recently. But so it's feeling that draws itself, and all of this external things. Our thoughts are the most external thing, and thoughts are how we kind of interact and turn the material into thinking that it's material. We think it's matter, we think it's something happening outside of consciousness. And it seems like absolute insanity to let go of that belief. And once you do, it seems ridiculously simple how we ever could have thought otherwise. And I have a 7-year-old son. I'm even explaining this to him. And I went through months of not knowing if I should explain it to him or not. But I am, because this and the what's going on in the world right now, the shutdown, the pandemic, absolutely unprecedented. We don't have time anymore. This is real. We never had time. There was never time at all. Anyway, so it's all about coming back to feeling and being and feeling that. My word for it is love. You can use God, you can use whatever you want to point to it. And everything, it is like the eye of the storm, is like the love, and there's all this that's happening around it. And the storm, sometimes we judge it as a bad thing, and sometimes it's a beautiful thing. And when you're on a cliff but protected and staring at lightning happening over the water, what a stunning place to be. And that's enlightenment. It's watching manifestation and watching creation in its most dangerous, spectacular, magnificent glory happening all around you, but being in that safe spot, abiding in love itself. And there are so many stupid ways it manifests. Like, my husband drank the last of the orange juice the other day, and I just felt this reaction because I was kind of freaking out about having like healthy things in the house for my kids. And he drank, and so I bought it for them, and he drank the last bit, and I just caught this wicked reaction to it. And I knew it was stupid, and I didn't want to react. So I just went back to the feeling of it. And I saw myself like feel it for a second, and my mind jumped in and went, it's nothing. And I saw how I went to the conclusion of knowing in my mind that there's the eye of the storm, there's nothing in the center, that this feeling isn't real. And so I turned it into a concept of nothingness rather than actually riding the wave of feeling to that conclusion and actually feeling the love in the conclusion. Because we know there is no love in thought, it is outside of thought. It is neither good nor bad. And we there's so many beliefs that we hold, that we hold ourselves as unworthy or unwilling to experience something of fear, or it almost always comes back to fear of feeling. Everything comes back to fear of feeling. And I see in spiritual communities so much these hard questions to ask about vaccines, or am I immune to a virus? Am I always attracting disease? And enlightened masters dying of cancer and everything, and judging it from that standpoint. But we cut ourselves off from it and keep it as a fear by judging that thing as bad itself, when our experience, this feeling, is the only truth and the only connection that we actually have access to. And so there is no need whatsoever to worry, and there is no need whatsoever to have to draw a conclusion that says, this won't happen to me. You can completely leave that as groundless. You can stay in the eye of the storm, knowing that the storm's around you. And while I say that, it's knowing that you're protected, doesn't mean that you aren't a vulnerable part of manifestation either. And that vulnerability itself, if you weren't vulnerable, then you would not experience the love or feeling whatsoever, which again, in a strange loop fashion, that feeling itself is the love, is the security, is the eye of the storm. So you are in the middle of it and you are protected from it. It's a paradox in itself. And so when you draw conclusions about spiritual techniques, or what kind of safety or immunity or anything you're trying to have, it's not that at all. Just feel, just be. I hope this was helpful for you today. If you like my videos, please consider subscribing. And I always love to hear from you guys in comments. Love you guys. Bye.